Welcome, everyone, to Todd's World, to the wildly opinionated news hour. Carrie, my constant co-host, is with me. How's it
Hello.
going, Carrie?
Great. You?
Good. Did you finally get a little sunshine down in Florida, down in Jacksonville, Florida this week? Because you were like
No,
deluged,
we're still
right?
deluged. Yesterday it didn't rain as much and the sun tried to come out for like a minute.
Well, that was all you got.
But today the nature like emerging tells me like there's been a shift. I had to go outside for something this morning
You
and
think,
the hibiscus is covered with these little baby toads and their baby lizards running across the side. It's really cute. There's a whole bunch of crazy
did you
and
send the cats out and they came back with like an olive branch and you thought maybe it's safe to go outside?
yeah, practically. Do you know what a skink is?
Oh, what?
A skink.
I know what a skank is. I've been with a few of those.
Nope. A skink is a very like colorful, shiny, fast lizard. So
No,
cool. Just saw a blue-tailed skink running on the brick, and I got a quick picture of it, but they're hard to catch. They're beautiful.
lizards are kind of fun,
Hmm.
weird to me. Like when we went down to Florida this summer, where we don't
Hmm.
see lizards up here in Michigan all that much,
Right.
and it's cold.
Oh, wait, where you were was Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah,
You
well, it
probably
was
saw
what
variety.
was it? Delray Beach or something? Is that what it's called?
Right,
Down by
right. Oh,
Palm
yeah.
Beach.
That's considered South Florida. You probably saw some real lizards down there.
We just saw a few. I mean, I wasn't like
Okay.
looking, but I just see a lizard scampering around, and that was like, we don't see that up here. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
It's a little startling at first.
it's like, now listen, I want to remind people last week's Wildly Opinionated News Hour.
Hmm.
For everyone who was listening, if you didn't listen, I want you to know what you're missing out on. I want to give you some perspective. And all I'm going to read is the little description that I put with the podcast.
Yes.
This was we recorded this Monday evening, right? Last Monday evening.
Did we?
Or was it Sunday? Might have been Sunday.
It was I thought it was like the day, wasn't it the day of the debate?
No, because we
Okay.
did a Sunday
Oh
night and
yeah,
then we
it was
did a
the night
Monday
before.
night. I think it
Yeah,
was
it was
Monday
the
evening. I think we recorded beers on Sunday evening.
it was the day
Beers with
before
Jesus.
the
Yeah.
debate.
So this was the day before the debate. And then
Yep.
I dropped this podcast Tuesday morning,
Yes.
and Tuesday evening there was this little debate
Mm-hmm.
between President Trump and a
Mm-hmm.
laughing hyena. And I want people to understand. I just before we get into this, there's a lot to go through on this debate thing, and a lot of fun, really, I think. But my my, my description of our podcast last week, I want
Mm-hmm.
people to understand, like back in the day with Rush, that they're on the like the cutting edge of societal evolution with this show.
Right.
My description was for last week's podcast before the debate even happened.
Right.
The Haitians are coming for our cats. And the Kamala campaign is coming unglued. Will Trump knock out the left's latest puppet in the debate again? That was last week's wildly opinionated news hour, right?
That's
And now
prophetic, Todd.
during the debate, something happened. This happened from Donald Trump. Let's play it.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. 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 They're eating the dogs.
A million
Yes.
memes have been
I
spawned
know.
from one comment that I think could have only been delivered the way that it was by one
Hmm.
man, Donald Trump. And I
Yes.
will tell you, you were watching the debate, probably, I imagine.
Oh yes.
I was watching the debate. Nikki and I were watching the debate, and Nikki wasn't feeling that good, so she wanted to lay down. So we were watching it, kind of propped up in bed.
Hmm.
And when when he said that line, I came up out of the bed, like off the bed, cheering. And I was like, that's it. That's the whole election right there. The only thing anybody's going to remember from this debate is that line. That line is going to focus all of the attention on Springfield, Ohio. And what it is it's a perfect encapsulation of Biden and Kamala Harris's invasion, the foreign invasion that they're sponsoring.
Yep.
And it's everything wrapped into one. It's perfectly memeable. It resonates with the social media generation, and it's perfect. What did you think when you
Well, you
I mean,
are
it was over.
I
I knew
know.
it.
You know, okay, so it's so funny. I'm going to admit to this. You probably already know this. I am emotional when it comes to politics.
Mhm.
I work through everything in the moment. I don't see the big picture immediately. So when he said that, I was like, "Oh, no, you just did not say that."
Oh, you
I was
were
like,
like all the
"Can't
pundits.
believe you said that out loud." Because honestly, the stories floating around at that time, like that day we were talking, the day before we were talking about it, I quickly did the research and basically like the police body cam of this woman eating a
They're
cat. Turns out
eating the
she was
dogs. They're eating the cats.
Oh, sorry. I don't know how that happened.
she oh my gosh, it's okay. Every now and then I'm gonna use one of my kids' words. It's a banger. We're gonna um the no, that video and the lady, she was not a Haitian and blah, blah, and I thought, now what I did see consistently was I saw evidence of Haitians with like walking around with geese and ducks that they had
Mhm.
snagged from local parks, and people at the city council saying they're chopping off the heads of these, like, you know, these birds and they're eating them. So
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
I
but
love
the
it. I
one,
can't
like
get
the
enough.
one cat account, I know it just make it our theme song for the next few weeks. It's great. I love it.
I wander around the house all the time and I'll be like, they're eating the dogs. And the cats are looking at it because I got like 6 cats and they're like, what is going
That's great. So in the moment, I flipped out. I was like, okay, this isn't quite confirmed. I like, dude, I can't believe, because that's like what a, you know, conspiracy little crazy goes off spouting. You know what I mean? But the great thing, I think I sent you someone in tongue in cheek said, right now they're saying, you know, that's crazy, which means we're 1 week away from them saying, well, what's wrong with that? And then 3 weeks away from them saying,
Mhm.
why aren't you, you know, why aren't you
You
eating
did.
pets? And then
Yeah. How come we all aren't
ultimately,
eating cats?
and then
They're way better
ultimately
than seed oils.
we're several weeks away from, um, you know, if you're not eating your pets, you're a white supremacist. So it's so funny to just watch that news cycle. But what's happened since then has made me realize. So in the moment, I thought he's just made
You
himself
were with the
sound like a
pundits.
fool. In the moment, I just thought it was
Yeah.
too big, too far reaching and too insane sounding. Because usually if I hear something super crazy, I doubt it at first, which is good. I don't blindly, you know, fall into the traps of, oh
The
my
second it came out of his
God.
mouth, I saw everything that
You
has
saw it.
happened since. I knew
Well,
it. I knew it was going to happen
I
because
know
this is what
the
they do.
right.
Everybody's watching, and the pundits are with you, and the talking heads, and
Yeah.
you know, and I'm watching all these people, and they're all disappointed. I don't think that's a very good debate for. And she's lying, just lying the entire time, and it's
Wow, it
so
was
obviously three
crazy.
on one. And I knew
Mhm.
it doesn't matter. See, people like to think in terms of it used to be with the debate
Mhm.
that you had a debate and whatever happened that night on the debate,
Mhm.
like that was it. And then you tried to work off it and you tried to do whatever, right? But
Mhm.
so we live in a totally different world right now.
Mhm.
All that debate is a million different clips of Kamala lying
Mhm.
that can then be cut up and put side by side with what she said before.
Right.
And so what's happened is, and I saw this. I read this to Nikki. This was from Scott Adams. I got to see
Okay.
if I can find it quick. But
Mhm.
basically, he said he was changing his, and this was I don't know, maybe yesterday, day before, maybe
Okay.
he was changing his score on who won the debate.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, that's because I the whole time, I mean, people are giving Trump this grade or that grade, and I from the beginning said he just killed her, he knocked her out. And what I've been saying all along, and have continued on, is I've said that within a month, Kamala will be gone. I still believe that by the end of the month, Kamala's done.
Okay.
She's gone.
I know you're
burned.
sticking by it. Love your
And,
conviction on it, Todd. I really do.
Well, she's
Well, I know.
Here she is. Here.
She's empty.
I can tell you exactly why. And it's this. Here's a clip. This is why Kamala will be done within a month.
Okay.
And as a woman, there's a balance to be struck between being tough and being a bitch.
He just keeps going.
Turn that off.
She just can't. I mean, I knew from the beginning she wasn't able to do it. She wasn't able to pull it off. And what I said from the beginning was, this is how they're getting rid of Kamala Harris. I will admit that I didn't see what I think is now going to happen, which is Biden's skin suit coming back. I didn't see that.
Yeah. I don't believe that, but I'm glad you're having fun with
I still believe it. I still believe you're seeing more of him now. You notice that? You saw him put on the Trump hat.
Yeah. What?
There's there's weird things afoot.
There are very weird things happening, but he looks as lost as ever, Todd. I just don't think I don't think he's coming back. Not in the driver's seat. In the driver's seat simulator.
Okay, there was they let Kamala out of her out of the basement or out of the trunk. I think they haul around in the trunk of like a 1977 Plymouth. One of those
right
big old trunks.
behind the convoy.
They got a few people in there, and they let her out. But they let her out in this like local Pittsburgh station got like a 10-minute little interview with Kamala. Well, here's one of their questions. I want you to hear it. This is how she's the smartest woman in the world.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this.
She's going to start.
I grew up a middle-class kid.
Oh.
My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager.
Oh.
I grew up in a community of hardworking people, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, but a lot of people will relate to this. I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn.
Right. Oh. Yeah. Right.
And
that brings prices down.
I was
lawns.
raised to believe and to know that
I'm waiting for her
people
specifics.
deserve dignity.
Oh yeah.
And that we as Americans have a beautiful character. We have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions. So when I talk about building an opportunity economy, it is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and creating opportunity for people.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
You tell me.
Okay, Todd,
her campaign is over.
When was that?
Within the last day or two.
Okay, I saw that yesterday, and I asked on the thread. I'm like, please, someone tell me when this was. When was this? And no one answered. I'm so glad you played that.
Here's another one. This is a 24-second clip. Another answer. This is just an answer. I don't think the question's in here.
Same interview.
My approach is about new ideas, new policies that are directed at the current moment, and also, to be very honest with you, my focus is very much in what we need to do over the next 10, 20 years to
I'm so glad she's talking about
the 21st century around
current moment.
Capacity, but also challenges.
Eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. 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 They're eating the dog.
I'm so glad that
I might play this over and over. It just
I'm
might
so
be one continual loop.
I love it. I'm just so glad that she is her policies, what'd she
Mhm.
say? Her ideas are
They're going to
targeted at
help us catch up
the
to the
current
21st
the
century.
current moment though,
Oh
Todd.
yeah. The
I'm
current
I'm
moment.
so glad. I'm
She
so glad.
never says anything. She went through an
She
entire
doesn't I
debate
know.
and
I
it was
know.
nothing but people were like, "Oh, she did a good job. There was no word salads." I was like, the entire thing was a word salad.
It just
There
was
was
a
all three of
well-rehearsed
them.
word
All
salad.
her and the two moderators.
I know. In the moment, I was very nervous because all I was paying attention to was her delivery, and her delivery was it was clean.
You thought, eh?
Well, her delivery was clean.
Yeah.
Her presentation was clean. She
She had
came out
memorized. She
shaky.
had memorized some answers.
Oh yeah, she'd memorized
Not
everything. And there,
answers. She had memorized some sound bites to say. They weren't actually
right.
answers, and no
Well,
one demanded any answers.
and she just said several of them again in that interview when she talks about the American people, the hopes, aspirations, and ambitions, and all that. I mean, she said that a few times during the debate, and then she's saying it again. I thought this woman just memorized. They were calling them platitudes in some of the analysis afterwards, and I'm like, that's it. She's all platitudes, just no meat to it at all. And so I think people just watched again, like me, watched her and were like, okay, well, she seems competent, but it's like she's not saying anything. That clip you just played, that's hilarious.
And then Trump just, in the middle of the debate,
Yeah.
he destroyed her entire campaign.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're
It was
eating the
over.
cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this
Oh
is
my
what's
gosh.
happening in our country.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Did you hear that little meow at the end?
No, is that a meow? Wow. Wow. So
It's over. I knew
Todd,
it was over.
oh my gosh. Well, there are lots of people out there who don't know what has happened since the debate in Ohio.
Well, this is what exactly what I knew would happen would happen. Like with X,
Mhm.
with all of these things out there, where actually it's free speech, right? And it's the
Yep.
wild west of free speech.
As it
You
should
have
be.
100%. You have a ton of citizen journalists all over the place, and they have descended on Ohio. Because I mean,
Okay.
you have all kinds of clips of residents talking in city councils, and of course,
Right.
the day after the debate,
Yes.
Wednesday morning, the governor, the piece of shit rhino governor of
Mhm.
Ohio, DeWine, I think it's DeWine,
It is. Mhm.
sent $2.5 million to
Yep.
Springfield, Ohio, and additional state troopers.
Right.
And then
A
the
lot of
same
them.
day they said, well, something going, that's crazy talk. That's just going on the internet. Well, why did you send so much money then? What
Oh, I
happened?
know.
Like
Nothing to see there clearly.
Trump leads from the debate stage. Things get, and I knew they would descend on Ohio. This town is going to receive more attention, and it's been crying out for help and for attention, and everything about this is going to resonate so much with, we hear so much about the suburban mom sitting
Right.
in her garden in Pennsylvania with her
Right.
Steelers jersey on, right? So
I won't hold that against her.
but this resonates because this has become, and this is what I told Nikki while we were sitting there watching the debate, even before the infamous line. I said,
Yes.
this is a security election. Everybody up there, Trump looks
Mhm.
strong, secure. He's angry. And then people after the debate are like, why were you so angry? And he said, I'm angry because they're eating the dogs. He didn't say it, but I mean, everything that's happened to America, look at what they're doing. They're turning it into a hellhole.
Yeah.
And case
It's
number
bad.
one, Springfield, Ohio, Aurora, Colorado, where the Venezuelan gangs are taking over apartment buildings. They're
Mhm.
turning our country, and this is an existential threat. This is the kind of threat that gets your daughter killed or raped walking down the street from a
Yeah.
bunch of Haitians. And you know why they eat cats and they drink their blood and they do everything else? Because voodoo and witchcraft are the predominant religion in Haiti, and
Mhm.
it's good
Right.
luck to drink cat's blood, to eat cats. They're good luck. They don't
Wow.
even have. Oh, I know what I wanted to share with you. What do
Okay.
you got, Carrie? I feel like I'm over the top. I'm going right over top of you with everything. And
No,
then every time
it's
you try to
good.
talk, I do
Oh,
this.
Bloop, bloop.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
It just went everywhere. What do you got for me, Carrie?
Well, what I've got is in the moment I thought he had just overplayed the crazy
Mhm.
because I couldn't confirm yet what was going on. But I mean, even if specifically there aren't, dozens and dozens of cases of people's pets getting eaten, there's some weird shit going on in Springfield, Ohio, because there are 20,000, like 60% of their previous
Yeah.
population of Haitians
We're going to
who,
know about all of it too.
oh, I know. And here,
Everything is going
I
to
know they're
come
not going to be able
out.
to hide it. I've still had people this week say, that's crazy. You're crazy. And I'm like, listen, they're saying there's nothing to see here. Oh, and David Muir, one of the moderators, spoke to the city manager or
Oh,
something. He's
city
like,
manager
oh,
had no.
city manager says there's no problem. And I think, what? Oh, that city manager is
What could be more
already
emblematic
fired.
than that? Because every
Right.
time they get up, the governor said saying everything's fine. These
Everything's
guys are all going to look like asshats within a week.
Yeah, they're all freaking liars. And that him going out on a crazy limb and just blurting that out during the debate has not only has set wheels in motion, action to solving it. So the big picture that I wasn't seeing in the moment, but also this crazy song that someone mixed up. And have you seen all of the young people dancing to it on TikTok?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's like, I don't know how many. It's more than you can count. And it's hilarious. They're young. They're like in their 20s. It's people
You know what
dancing
else?
on this
You
video.
know what
Yeah.
happened right after the debate? You know
What? What?
who came out and endorsed Kamala? And this was a big endorsement. This was a big
Oh,
endorsement.
yes. Here we go.
Taylor Swift came out.
Yep.
Now you know what I see is these videos of, as you were speaking of the younger generation,
Yes.
like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say 20 somethings, bunch of chicks, 20 something chicks. Here's
Yep.
here's what I'm seeing as
Ooh,
Voting Donald Trump, baby.
and it's all these different chicks. And they're
Really?
all doing it on TikTok.
Voting Donald Trump, baby.
nice. Oh my gosh.
Voting Donald Trump, baby.
And it just keeps going. It's
God.
become a viral thing on TikTok. The
That's
worm
beautiful.
has turned. So
Todd,
what?
do you think that the American people have discovered the joy of thinking for themselves?
Yes. I do. I think that
Praise
I
God.
think it's over. Now, they're still going to cheat. They're still going to do
Yes.
what I think is going to happen. Okay, I started to get I've always known they were going to broom Kamala. And everybody's always thought I'm crazy. Kamala's they're stuck with her, blah blah. Nope. They're going to broom her and you're going to watch it. Her polls are about to collapse. In fact, I think her internal polls have already collapsed. But
Yeah,
the
it's
public
bad.
polls are kind of keeping her afloat for a little bit. But they
Mm.
did the same thing with Biden after his debate. It took almost a month before they broomed Biden. 3 weeks, something like that. The debate was on June
Okay.
27th. I was flying into Florida and I got off the plane, and that was June 21st, I think.
Okay.
20th, 21st, something like that.
Oh yeah.
So, and that was when I found out they had broomed Biden. The coup, the infamous coup.
The quiet coup heard round the world.
Trump's like, they call me a threat to democracy.
I
Look at what they
know.
did.
I can't believe more people aren't pissed about that. It shocks me.
I knew as I'm watching this debate, this is the kind of debate the pundits are going to come out of. I'm going to listen to talking heads, and they're not going to be as happy as they could have been. But this debate, every single thing that Trump is hitting and the way he's doing it
Yep.
is going to resonate with the American people. And it did. It absolutely did.
Wow.
She probably lost 2 points in the polls at least, but it's only begun. I mean, because the problem with Kamala is she has there's nothing. There's nothing for once she starts a free fall. It's worse than Biden. Biden had some goodwill kind of built up with enough of the American people that
there were people genuinely liked him.
Well, that's what carried him through 3.5 years of being a corpse as our
Of
first
course.
corpse president.
Right.
And
You should be
And
on
he-
Mount Rushmore.
and he did have some goodwill built up. So it took him a long time to crater. Kamala has none. So
No.
once the spiral and the cratering starts on Kamala, it will be like a free fall. It'll be like the bottom dropped out, and you're going to watch all these news anchors and everybody else just be stunned that this is happening.
Right. Hey, did you see Jake Tapper talking about the debate?
I
Jake
didn't, but I
Tapper.
heard he was quasi honest.
So yeah, Jake Tapper on CNN. Now you can remind me, I meant to look this up. Was he one of the moderators of the Trump Biden debate in
Yeah,
in,
him and
June
Dana
or July?
Bash.
Okay. So Jake Tapper, he's a CNN guy. He's a
But they
left,
did run a fairly square debate for Trump and
they
Biden.
totally did. Everyone, I thought it was very, very well done. I thought it was fair. That's great. I compliment them for that. But Jake Tapper defends this administration all the time. It's what he does for a living. He came out and pointed out how biased ABC's moderators were. He also specifically, he played clip after clip of Kamala not answering the question and not giving the American people what they need to know about her as a leader. And I was stunned. I mean,
The American people know everything they need to about Kamala.
but Todd, they don't.
They do.
We do.
They do.
We know that, but there are lots of people
65%
out
of
there
the
who
American
don't.
population, all they have to do is look at her and they
I
know
want it to
everything
be
they need to
80.
know about
No,
Kamala.
no, there are a whole bunch of people who have TDS.
I'm telling you
They
that
hear
all of
the-
that is overrepresented. It's overrepresented to such a standpoint, and it's broadcast by the media such a standpoint, it might represent 35% of the population.
Do you think, okay, do you think the reason we think it's bigger is because it's celebrities,
Yeah.
public figures like, radio and news people who are just loathe Donald Trump so much, like they've just wrapped up their panties in such a wad that they can't see straight, and they just, all they do is seethe with hatred, and they
Well,
can't
to
see
be
anything
fair,
else.
we're being subjected to gaslighting and brainwashing operation, the likes of which I'm not sure we've ever seen in human
Definitely not.
history when you consider the technology and the capabilities of what
I-
they're doing. Do you know what I mean?
I think the only thing that compares to it, it's very different. Our whole culture and landscape is very different, but is that of the Nazis.
Yeah.
The Nazis brainwashing of their people.
I think I just
I'm serious.
coughed. Did you just hear me cough? I tried to
Yes.
hit my mute button and then it didn't do it, and then I caught. Sorry, guys.
It was really far. It was far away enough from the mic.
My
It was just-
professionalism usually
like a little-
avoids that.
No, it sounded very small.
That's what I get.
So I don't throw out the Nazi term
Imbibing in the
loosely.
vape during the show. Go ahead, Terry.
Don't throw out the Nazi term loosely. But when you look at that effort
Mhm.
to brainwash the people,
I think it's worse.
That's the, I was gonna say, it's just the only thing that I can compare it to.
I don't think the Nazis were as bad. Oh, that makes people mad right now. Everywhere heads are exploding. But
Wow.
I don't think that they
right?
were.
Like-
Well, I think that Hitler had made some valid points about, because the Weimar Republic and everything that was going on in the inflation and everything else,
Mhm.
they were driving Germany into chaos and into. I mean,
So you're
there's a
speaking
reason.
politically.
There's a reason that Germany responded to Hitler, and it's because their existing leaders were absolute idiots. Now, I understand that he came in and did some horrible things and had some horrible ideas, but there was some legitimacy to, we need somebody new. I mean, they had rampant crime, same kind of thing we're dealing with now. It is the kind of thing, when the left says this is the kind, this is how you get strongmen elected. Well, there is some truth to that. Which is why they're doing it, mind you. They don't want the strongman Trump elected. They want the strongman apparatus elected.
Right.
Because then you'll never have another election again.
Yeah, they're seeking permanent control. And the fact that Kamala just said something about 10, 20 years, I think, well, yeah, I know you're thinking
Right.
10, 20 years because that's like part of the whole plan. Actually, they were almost there.
She's
If
going to spend
Trump-
10 to 20 years in Gitmo.
If Trump hadn't upset Hillary Clinton that election,
Yes, you're right.
their plan would be well underway. And actually, I mean, they think their plan is still what's making it so difficult for this election now. All right, so question for
So,
you.
mhm.
Question for you. Do you think it's wise that Trump is declining to debate her again.
Yeah, there's no point to that at all.
Really?
Yeah. Well, she's not going to be there. I keep telling you that.
Well, talk to me about the optics, because I think it looks so bad for him not to do
I
it.
don't think it looks bad at all. What they're trying to do.
Objectively, Todd, I'm asking you to be objective.
Everything that's going on right now with Springfield, with all the attention, with they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cat, all of that is dominating the news cycle. The news cycle right now is dominated with fact-checking Kamala's lies. It's dominated by all that. They are simply flailing wildly, looking for something else to talk about. If they could get him to agree to a debate, then they can spend the next 4 weeks or 3 weeks talking about that debate, and that'll turn the focus and it'll do something.
But aren't they just
Trump
going to be
is
talking about how he
wisely-
won't debate her again?
No. Let me
I
tell
don't
you what's
know.
going to happen. I just saw this the other day because I told you I've known they were going to get rid of Kamala. That was never a question for me.
Okay.
It always confused me how I was always confused. Like the Biden stuff has confused me a little bit because I've started. First of all, I've listened to Trump and I hear him say things and I think, because I know he knows things that we don't know. He knows ahead things that are happening that we don't know.
You're talking about Trump.
Okay. And he's made these comments about Biden and these comments about the coup and these comments about Biden. And when he said in the debate, he hates her. She didn't deny
he
that.
said that.
The ABC moderators that were on her team didn't deny that. They all know it's true. That's my point. Everybody knows it's true. Why? Because everybody hates her. That's why. All this hope and joy is a lie. It is a massive gaslighting operation. Yeah. And then I'm on the porch the other day. I'm reading.
Okay.
And mind you, my wife Nikki, she thinks I'm crazy too. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. And then this happens, and I keep being proven true.
You're smart. I think you're crazy, but you're also smart. So that's why I pause. I always pause. It's like,
And then I start seeing all this stuff. I start seeing this affidavit from a whistleblower at ABC.
Yes. What is that?
That is coming out that is claiming that ABC not only gave Kamala all of the questions, they promised Kamala they would fact check Trump and that they would not fact check her. The entire thing was collusion and cheating from front to back. Okay. Wow. Well, we knew that. We knew that watching it, right?
I mean, it looked like that.
And not shocking. Nobody thinks, that's something they would never. Well, of course they did that. It was obvious. Everybody knew they were doing it. But what happened is, so I'm seeing this and I think, that's interesting. This whole whistleblower thing and this affidavit, that's kind of an official thing. It's kind of surprising to me. They got that out as fast as, that it's coming out as fast as it is. It was a little surprising to me. Then I see former Clinton advisor. I can't remember the guy's name. I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
Former Clinton advisor comes out and calls for an official investigation into ABC News for rigging the debate. And I was like, oh my God, this is how they're gonna do it. This is how they're gonna take her out with a cheating scandal over a debate after they took Biden out with a debate.
Oh my gosh, you think so?
And they're gonna put skin suit back in.
And it's all so public that
it's not because I think that they think skin suit can win. Biden, by the way, for those of you who don't know who skin suit is.
Hello.
I believe what they are doing is they have realized at this point. I think they always knew Kamala wasn't going to last, but they've realized they don't have any options. They don't have a chance. This is over. They can't beat Trump. It doesn't matter the rigging. It doesn't matter all of it. They're not going to be able to do it and make it believable. Not believable at all. Not believable for 3 hours. Believable, right?
Right.
They're losing. And what I believe they're going to do is that they are going to ramp up the corruption, the rigging to levels like we've never seen that aren't believable. And by shoving skin suit back in, you're going to all of a sudden find out, oh my God, all these legal things that have to happen to end a campaign never actually were filed. We have all these ballots out there with Kamala's name on, but the guy is supposed to be Joe Biden. And what they are trying to do is destroy the election by introducing as much chaos as they can. They want to make the election so chaotic, so corrupt, that nothing can be gained, nothing can be gleaned from it that would
So the team decided
Yeah.
to do a fun competition.
So you think this is doable?
I don't
mean, do you
think
think
they're
they can
gonna
pull
win.
this
No,
off?
I think they're
Okay.
gonna do it.
You just think they want to make it nuts.
I don't know that they're gonna succeed. My guess is that I still think he can outrun even that. But I think that they're just, what I think is the deep state's down to its last play, and its last play is we can't win, therefore let's sow corruption. And then with the hope being that if the election is corrupt enough, if there's enough chaos, it'll get thrown to the House of Representatives. Now at that point Trump wins, because the way that it works is that the House, it doesn't go by the vote of the congressman within the House of Representatives. You know how we're pretty closely split, right? But that's not how it works. The way that it works is that each state delegation gets one vote.
Okay.
There's way more red states than there are blue states. So Trump wins. Easy. Hands down in the House of Representatives. Even if for some reason there's enough chaos and enough corruption, it goes to the Supreme Court, Trump wins there. So I think no matter what, Trump wins. But if it has to come to that, if it has to come to that kind of an interference, then they're going to say that they're going to try to use that to save their own skins as Trump comes after the deep state. They're going to, you don't even have a mandate. You were put in there by the House of Representatives.
They're
You
gonna
weren't even elected by the people.
They're going to delegitimize
Well, they're gonna
his
attempt to.
presidency.
I don't think it's going to work. I have to keep telling people that, because this is happening. What I see happening is happening. I just don't believe it's going to work. I believe Trump's going to go in there, and I believe that we are going to get another lease on life as America. I believe that.
I hope so.
I believe that's where we're headed. And
I keep just praying
the
for
optimism.
his safety.
Yeah, he's got to stay alive 100%. But I think he's going to. I think that that they're losing, and this is what winning feels like. I keep saying that. This is winning.
You know what? No, I'm not going to feel that feeling fully until November.
I'm not saying that
6th.
it's finalized. I'm saying when you're in a game,
yeah,
and you're up 30 points in the fourth quarter, this is what winning feels. And you've trounced the team all the way through. Even they've been cheating, and the refs are against you. And
I know that
you're away and everything else, and you just keep scoring. That's what he's doing. you just keep scoring. You're like Jim Harbaugh, and you just keep running right up their gut, right in their face, and you keep getting first downs, and you keep scoring, and they just can't stop you.
Wow.
That's where I think we're at. That's where I think this is going. And it was an epiphany this week when I saw that Clinton advisor came out, and I thought, oh my God.
So Clinton,
they're going to take her out with a cheating scandal over this debate. Because if this comes out, and it will come out, there's no way she can't. I mean, you can't stay in the race, is it?
I mean, she can claim that she didn't know anything about it, or like these are false. You know what I mean?
My guess is, this is the weird part. My guess is that in order for this to happen, I thought the same thing about CNN with the Trump and Biden debate. In order for that to happen, CNN had to be somewhat in the tank for it. And I think ABC, in order for this to happen, had to be somewhat in the tank for this. And I expect you'll see ABC throw her under the bus.
Wow.
And that will be big.
That will be really big. I'm curious about the earrings. Can we talk about her earrings?
Yeah. Talk about the earrings, Carrie. Tell us all the research you've done on her little earbuds.
I haven't. I saw that and I'm like, okay, I can't see in the picture. If anyone doesn't know, I'm sure everybody knows by now that there's speculation.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Oh, sorry. That keeps turning on. Go ahead.
Someone needs to make a banger about the earrings. Kamala's earrings. In Taylor Swift's voice. So Kamala's earrings supposedly resemble some.
They look exactly like some
Swedish,
of these earpiece things. Yeah.
I was trying to look up the brand name, whatever.
I don't know what it was either.
Some Swedish company made these Bluetooth earrings. And so, but it's really all I know. And I just think to myself, are they that stupid or are they that desperate?
That might be the thing that really see, that'll be the thing. It won't be the not fact checking Trump. I mean, ABC can quasi weasel their way out of that.
They can say, they can apologize and say
they'll ride out the storm if they have to.
Yeah.
But she
those
can't ride out the storm of the cheating scandal, and especially if she was actually getting answers and getting fed through an earpiece, which
right.
it did. It appeared that she was on the follow-ups. It didn't appear like so in other words, it did
Well, that
appear
makes
like she had
sense.
the questions, and so she had her
Uh-huh.
canned little, well, I grew up in the middle class. I just think
The
prices are going to
middle
come
class.
down because of the lawns.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
The
She got,
lawns?
did you see how emotional she got during that answer? Like,
Yeah,
is she emotional about how these people care about their lawns? Like,
it's
does she
all.
really care about the American
There's
people?
nothing
No.
real to her.
I know.
That's why I
It's
kept
just,
saying to Nikki that I said it doesn't matter because here's the thing. All anybody has to do is look up there.
mhm,
And Trump, regardless of what you think about Trump, he
mhm.
is 100% Trump. He is a paragon of authenticity.
Yep. And he's the
And
same as he's always been.
and she is the exact 100% opposite. She is a
Mhm.
paragon of inauthenticity, and people see it when they look at her. She has to
Yep.
talk for 4 seconds, and people are like, "This is the biggest plastic banana fake. Like, this is insane."
Fake AF. So, okay. So the earrings. Oh, the
But
follow-up.
that,
That's
but
what,
that could get. It was on the follow-ups where you noticed her pausing, and it looked like she might have been listening. I don't know if she was or she wasn't. If
well,
that
if
comes
that's the
out,
case, that's when it would happen because
that
she
would
can,
be
if
the
she's
nail in the coffin for this little
right.
cheating scandal thing.
If she's given the questions in advance, she can prepare her answers and be on top of it, even though her answers were non-answers. But then if there's a follow-up, that would be unpredictable and she might need a little guidance on it. So,
And then it's going to come out she did that, and ABC is going to throw her under the bus and be like, "We had no idea that there was going to be Bluetooth earrings involved.
oh my
We
gosh.
just told her that we would fact check Trump because CNN didn't fact check him, and blah blah blah." And he's
Yeah,
Hitler.
right. The orange man kills me when they call him the orange man.
They're eating the Jews. What?
Oh,
So
so
yes, I that could be the thing that does her in, is something like that.
okay. So
And
some kind of cheating scandal,
then
possibly.
the
And
skin suit comes back, and we magically find out that all of the things we thought were supposed to happen didn't happen, and he still is the rightful nominee, like he always has been. He's the only one
oh,
who got
okay.
any
Oh,
votes,
that's what you're saying.
and
So
he was
what will they
supposed
do
to.
with the ballots?
And well, that's part of the chaos. I'm not entirely sure. I don't, because that is what they're trying to do, is inject that chaos. I think they'll just say, "Listen, any vote for a blue check is us," and that's insane. And then I think the
That is
courts will
insane.
grant it by and large.
They would. I think they would.
Yeah, and even that won't matter. I don't care
And
how many different blues they add up. It's
mm-hmm.
not going to matter.
And
But
they
I
will
think that's what they're going to
still,
do. I think
and they'll,
Skin Suit's going to get up there and he's going to say, "Listen, I have to come back to save democracy. We realize that what has happened," and so he's going to have to get a different vice president, and he'll have somebody else, who knows, and he's going to come back as a grandfatherly figure, and you know what? It's true that I might that I thought it was time for me to step aside, but the stakes are too high, and then he's going to put on a Trump hat.
oops.
I don't know. I don't know. It's all crazy,
It's
but
crazy.
it will be something in that vein. And I think that's how they're going to do it. I think they're going to do it with this debate cheating scandal, which is
Wow.
shocking to me, that they're going to use two different debates in the same campaign cycle to wipe out two different campaigns.
I mean, if the way they work
The
with the
audacity,
media, the
even to
audacity, but
me, I'm like, wow,
I know they've shocked
it's
you. That's
impressive.
something else. But Todd, I mean, they're so in bed with the media. It makes sense that the debates are all run by the media.
Yeah.
So it's a,
And
you
yet
know,
Trump found a way to break through.
it's a clean path, I guess, by being
So,
crazy.
yeah, I don't. I just thought the entire thing is coming together to, I think, save America. I think that, and I think you're going to see him do it. I think you're going to see Trump do things. I've said this to people. I said this to Nikki the other night during the debate. I said, in the next 4 years, 4 or 5 years, things are going to come out. Oh, this had to do with 9/11 too, because 9/11 was last week, right? The 9/11. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I know you still believe. Yeah, Well, that's fine.
I know. I question, but it shakes me a little. It shakes me a little because I love America, so that shakes me.
Well, this is the thing that I would say to Nikki, and I'm not going to get into the whole 9/11 thing,
Mhm.
although I clearly think the government blew up our own towers. All it does, see, the problem people have with it is that they feel like all of that emotion they expended, all of the lives that were lost, all of the first responders, that if it wasn't these towelhead terrorists
Mhm.
that flew planes into buildings that did all
Mhm.
that, that somehow all of that's wasted. Somehow that puts the lie to all of that. But it doesn't really. All it does is it switches out the criminals that are responsible. That's all. The
Mhm.
criminals that are responsible are the people who were supposed to be protecting you, your own government.
Right.
But
I mean, that's a
they
very
still
big, it's a very
killed, they
big.
still did something that killed all these people. These first
Mhm.
responders still risked their lives. All of these things still, like, there's just as much legitimacy to all of it. There's just a different criminal at the top who's responsible. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes,
But people have a
but
hard
where
time
that criminal
emotionally getting
is
there
change.
because
Yeah, I mean that changes every.
if
It's
your
because we
government's
have
willing to do that to you, what aren't they willing to do?
exactly
Well,
our
we saw
sense
in
of
COVID, nothing.
security. Yeah,
They'll do everything, anything.
stay home, lock your doors,
Yeah.
triple mask. I know.
Destroy your business, destroy your kids.
I know. Inject your family with this dangerous. Oh my gosh.
COVID was
I mean,
arguably, now,
don't even get
they
me
would have
started
never
on the
gotten the Patriot Act without 9/11, which is why I'm so convinced
true.
that the
Yep.
government was a primary culprit, because
Yeah.
I can't imagine anybody else who benefits from the Patriot Act except the government.
Right. We just it gives we want to feel secure. We talked the last show about what is the government's number one job. And we
Mhm.
said peace and
Security.
security.
Number one.
And right, absolutely. And so when we talk in terms of 9/11 being an inside job, COVID being planned, things like that, it's scary because it's
It cuts at the
our
very foundation of your feeling
absolutely.
and then, no, I
Yeah.
understand why. I understand why it does that
Yeah.
with people.
So it's a false sense of security, but that's I can't live day to day thinking about that. That's
Right.
too disturbing for me.
I think that's true for a lot of people. But what I was
Sure.
telling
Yes.
Nikki,
What were you
and it
saying to
wasn't
Nikki?
just along with 9/11, that was one of the things, but it was
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff. And I said, I think that over the next Trump term,
Mm-hmm.
we think that right now, we think we're shocked and appalled by what we've found out about our government. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think we've found out the half of it. I think we are going to
Oh, I
find
agree.
out things that are going to shock and appall us beyond, like they're gonna mess with the fabric of our reality a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think
we'll
so.
see how the
It's
country
scary.
responds to that. Oh
It's a
yeah, it's
scary
not
feeling.
easy, not easy at all. It's not easy to deal with what I think we're gonna have to deal with. But
At 1 a.m. this morning, I had to climb out of a deep, dark rabbit hole and go to bed.
oh, what was the rabbit hole?
The rabbit hole was the Bush family and the JFK assassination,
Hmm.
which
I'm
I had
sure that
never,
I haven't
ever.
heard any of the specifics on yet. What's like the nutshell sketch of it?
The nutshell sketch is that the, I guess, Bush, one of like,
Would this
would
be
it have been
would this
Bush's
be
dad?
HW's dad?
I think so. Was the head of the CIA?
Well, HW is the head of the CIA, but not, I
Oh,
don't
it's
think,
him. It's him.
was he
And
during the Kennedy assassination head of it?
apparently, well,
Or right after or
either
something?
yes or shortly after or something like that.
I'm gonna have to look this up. Go
but
ahead,
here,
keep talking.
look that up. But I'm going to tell you, this was one of the dots
Google
that
that, Jamie.
got me. Yeah, GTS.
Go ahead.
One of the dots that connected that made me curious and sent me down the rabbit hole was that what do you call him?
George H.W.
Yeah, George H.W.
H.W. versus George W.
Okay, got it. Yes, George H.W.
Yeah.
Oh, that he couldn't say, like it was in some interview or whatever, couldn't say that he recalled, like he couldn't tell you where he was during the Kennedy assassination.
Oh, he was
And they're like,
only
that's weird.
director. He might have worked at the CIA. He was director of Central Intelligence only for about a year, 76 to 77.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But anyway,
He didn't know
they
where, they can't tell you where he was.
can't tell you where he was, and there's photo footage that makes it look like he was in Dallas, Texas.
Really? Was he
And
part of
if
the?
you
Was he part
and
of
if
this? He probably was part of the CIA,
right.
obviously, prior to
And if you
being.
were in Dallas, you were in Dallas. Someone was like, I was in third grade and I remember where I was, during the
So is the idea that
1960s.
he would have been like a CIA operative at the time?
Possibly, possibly.
I mean, he might have
So
worked at the CIA at the time. I'm
it's
trying to figure that out.
very interesting. Then the next incident they believe he was involved in was the attempt on Reagan while
Oh,
he was vice president.
that I would believe. Who
So
would
it was
benefit
kind of
more
like
than him?
exactly. So it was just really interesting. And I was like, I have never ever heard of this
I haven't
connection.
heard of that either.
And it was
You
pretty
out
interesting.
conspiracied me, Carrie.
I'm not
Look
saying
at
I know a lot or believe it, but at 1 a.m, I was like, I gotta go to bed.
this is good. This is good
That's
stuff.
enough. That's enough pulling at the threads of the fabric of my fake security blanket. And
Well, that's an example of what I'm talking about. What I think is going to
yes,
happen. I think
exactly.
it's going to be it's going to be jarring
Hmm.
for all of us. Possibly even as jarring
In Springfield,
as this.
they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats.
This-
They're eating
This
the
is jarring
pets
to me.
of the people that live there.
To my cats.
And this is what's happening in our country.
Have you seen? Have you have you seen the other TikTok trend of people playing the audio for their cat, like their
Yeah,
of the
for their
song?
or their dog, and their dog's like.
So they play it for the cat, and the cat's just like bathing or lying there doing nothing as he's saying they're eating the dogs. But as soon as he said they're eating the cats, the cat jumps to attention, alert, like, what? What is this
I haven't seen
travesty?
that. I've seen the ones with the dog who's like looking
Like
just like,
side-eyed.
what is going on?
So funny.
Oh,
Isn't
you
it
know what I want to
interesting? Yeah,
bring up? Go ahead
tell
if
me.
you've got something. No,
I was
I
just
gotta
gonna
find
say,
this
isn't
quick.
it interesting and sad that people are more alarmed by the concept of dogs and cats being eaten in one small city and not alarmed by the rapes and murders that are happening across the
Well,
country
I
at the
think
hands of illegals?
see, I know I know people think that, and I heard people say that. To me, it it hooks people in a way that doesn't. The reason is because
Yeah.
there's all kinds of people out there raping and murdering women like that. That's
Yeah, no,
kind of a
no, I get
national
it.
pastime.
I get it. It's like,
And they're
this
not
is
all
bad
Haitians. They're
even
not.
for
They are
us.
immigrants, but they're not. It's a dangerous world out there
Yeah,
under Biden and under the left. If
I
you're a woman,
understand.
you're getting things are
Yeah,
bad. Bad things are happening.
I know.
So I just think it gets lost in all the crime and all the
Hmm.
opioid stuff. It's too big. So in other
I
words, it's
understand.
just too big. And this
Yeah,
is so it's small enough and encapsulates everything,
yeah,
but it also shines a light on everything. It's like
absolutely.
and it shines and it becomes representative for everything that the Biden and Harris administration is. They've got these
Hmm.
or they've got these Haitians they bring in. These
Hmm.
Haitians, they're given 4 times, 5 times the amount of money to that your
Hmm.
average welfare recipient, your average Social
Absolutely.
Security person. And I'm
Yeah,
not saying they're the same.
it's
I'm
this
just saying
big.
your average person, what they're getting from the government, your American citizen, 4 to 5 times.
Right. The irony is that this group is completely like publicly, this is it's a program, it's not hidden, and
No,
it's the biggest disaster. So I think the irony of it's kind of funny. Um,
it perfectly encapsulates it, and it lodges in people's mind because it's so egregious to our way of
mhm,
life. I mean, we
right.
understand that we have to deal with crime, and I mean, if you're a woman, you understand. Yeah, you got to be raped once in a while, but just you
Stop.
can't rape the willing. No,
Stop.
I'm just kidding.
Oh Lord. I can't believe you
Well,
just made a rape joke.
I know it's
Help.
a little early in the morning for that.
A little early in the morning for a rape joke. No, but I know what you're saying. Like it's part like those are I don't want to say normal crimes,
They're
but
big. They're just they
yep,
happen. They're part of life. They're there's violence out there that you got to deal with. But this
right.
this is like you're killing and eating the pets. Like this is now
This is
I do
beneath
want
us. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
Nikki's well, I don't know if it's like her cousin. She's got all these like people that she calls. I don't know if it's a Southern thing. She has people she calls family members.
Sure.
Sometimes they are, sometimes they are. You never know. And if I ask,
Yeah.
she gets offended by the very fact, the very gall that I would have to ask whether this is an actual blood relation or not. The gall.
It means that
anyway,
her
it's
extended family is family to her. That's all that means.
it's somebody close, whatever.
Okay.
And this person, I think her name's Brittany, but she's like her whole life has kind of been like assistant veterinarian type of stuff, or there may be like an actual like term for it. I don't know.
Okay.
Like a
Like a
certified
vet tech. She might be like
Yeah,
a
it
vet
could be
tech.
that. I don't know. I don't know what all the terms are. Or in humane
no.
societies. My point is she's fostered all kinds of animals. Like she's a big animal person,
Okay.
right? And been
Yes.
involved her whole life in animal type related
Her
things.
heart is just wrapped up in
It
the
likes animals
care
a
and
lot.
love of animals. Got it. There are
She
lots of
said-
people like this. I
yeah.
know lots of
Well,
people like
there was a
this.
long communication her and Nikki were having, and I thought it was interesting enough to bring up.
Okay.
Says she says this is not it's not Brittany. I don't know who this person is. Anyway, I don't think anyway. Who knows? That's the other thing. They don't always have the same names. So right now, everybody might call her Brittany and her name might be something else. And I'm looking at her regular name and I'm like,
What?
clearly the South won the war. Okay. That is, she says that is not something new. When some of the Vietnamese refugees came here in the mid-70s, we had a problem with that. I know because we had several people from one neighborhood who came to the animal shelter here in town. I was the animal control officer for the entire county then. Each person wondering if I had picked up their pet. I told them no, I hadn't, but either me or the office manager kept records of who came in, their address, and what pet was missing. It did not take but a couple weeks, and we figured out it was happening in a specific part of town. We then found that there were several Vietnamese people who came in to adopt a dog or cat, and if memory serves, even a goat that we had. And all of these people were either in one of the neighborhoods in the general area. I then did some investigating. I found out from nearby neighbors of the various refugee families that they would have a dog in a pen for a week or two to put some weight on the dog, and then the dog disappeared.
Oh my gosh.
So this is in the 70s. So this must not be your cousin. This must be like someone older. It's like we were
Sure.
born in the 70s.
And she was an
You
aunt.
might not have been, but I was born in the 70s. I'm just kidding. So they'd fatten it up. This was repeated to me numerous times, mostly about dogs and cats. And as I learned once we started interviewing the refugees, they were seldom missed once they started coming to the shelter to get them. So basically, they would come adopt all the cats, and these shelters started realizing all our cats are being adopted.
Oh
But then
my
nobody
gosh.
misses them because since they adopted the cats, they took them home, fattened them up, but they had them in cages in a shed or garage. We had to explain to them, again, this is in the 70s with more of the Vietnamese, whatever.
Right.
We had to explain to them that we do not eat our pets. They didn't really understand the concept of a pet. I thought that was really interesting, and
That is
probably
interesting.
makes some sense.
They just thought it was a market.
And she said, I'm pretty sure that these illegals who are coming through the southern border don't either. Like they don't really understand the concept of they eat things. And then Nikki was telling me she was in she spent much of her life down in the hellhole that is Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Oh.
And it's like Flint,
Okay.
Michigan.
I thought you were going to say Alabama. Okay.
No, it's like one of the highest crime places.
Oh, Fayetteville.
It's where Fort Bragg is. But it's
Ouch.
it's rough. It's a rough area.
Okay.
Always has been. But she told me that she remembers at least 5 times over, let's say, 20 years, where it was mostly Chinese restaurants, the
Yes.
occasional maybe Korean, and they got busted and closed down for serving cat or dog. At least 5 times. The point is, this is not a new occurrence. This isn't like the media wants it, like Governor piece of shit Rhino from Ohio wants to, that's crazy talk. Who would ever do that? It happens. It happens. We're not talking about LA where there's all kinds probably of this that went on and happened. And I'm sure they assimilate. I'm
But
sure
it's
that
probably not a
eventually
crime in California.
they lose their taste for cat,
Right.
perhaps.
Hey, Todd, can you play the music clip?
You need the music clip again? Carrie's like, this
Definitely.
is too much.
For Nikki. For Nikki.
Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
The great thing about this clip, you can't see the video. It has Kamala dancing and various things all the way through.
Eat the cat.
She
They're
loves
eating
it.
the dogs.
She loves
I wonder if Jamaicans or what is it?
Voting Donald Trump, baby.
This is the music version of Wildly
I love
Opinionated
it.
News Hour.
I love it. It's all apropos today.
So
God,
I thought that
that's
was real
crazy.
interesting because
It is.
this isn't new. This has happened before. Everybody knows it's happened before. You can't bring
Right.
in 300,000 Haitian refugees and not bring their voodoo and their witchcraft and their cat
Sure.
blood drinking ways with them.
Right.
So
You know, and there've been jokes made over the years, my whole life, jokes made about Chinese restaurants, serving
yeah.
cats and dogs, and that has to have come from
Oh,
something.
sure. Yeah.
So,
And I think it's the
well,
same thing. They're over there. Think about it. Remember
Yep.
during COVID, they're over there in their wet markets eating bats and everything else.
right,
These
bats with
places,
COVID.
these places have tons of poverty, tons of
Mhm.
starvation. They're eating whatever they can get their hands on.
Right.
And besides the fact that in that society they don't really have a good concept of pets like we do.
Well, right. Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to take care of themselves. They're not going to be having
Yeah.
to feed an animal in addition. Yeah.
But all of this is
Wow.
coming together to form the nexus around which the country is turning, I think, extremely hard back toward Donald Trump. Because, listen, they're not idiots. They know what it was before, they know what it was prior to COVID. It was great. It was the greatest economy we ever had. And Trump's talking about no tax on tips. He's not going to tax overtime pay. Did you see that?
Yes.
That is huge. I mean,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
ramifications that would make throughout the industry, because it's going to motivate people to work more, because you got to work your
Sure.
first 40 hours to get to the
Right.
overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden you're radically ramping up productivity. That helps businesses out. Businesses don't have to mess with it on the back end, because a lot of
Mhm.
times what happens, and you probably would know this. You remember our good buddy Will, who just retired as a trooper, as a state trooper in
Yes.
Michigan. Well, he got he was telling me, because I saw him a week ago or something. He got some big lump check at the end that you get when you retire, like
Okay.
maybe
Awesome.
PTO kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
You're like storing up all
His
this
accumulated,
PTO. Sure,
his
sure, sure.
accumulated PTO.
And then they write you a
Sure.
big check for that, for like,
Cool.
who knows, 30, 40 grand, whatever it is, some big check.
Yeah.
Point is that out of that, the government took half,
Oh,
just
I'm
half
sure.
right off the top. Now, he'll get a
Yeah.
lot of that back, because what they do is they look at, that one check, and they say, well, he's getting that check every week. It's insane.
Right.
Well, this
That's too
would go a
much.
long way toward fixing that if you're not taxing overtime, and if you
Mhm.
change how you're looking at, how the government looks at
Mhm.
withholdings and everything else. But just
Right.
massive. The things Trump is proposing for his next administration are just, while Kamala is doing nothing but word salads,
Right.
nothing of any substance. Trump's out
Mhm.
there and he's just pounding on specific policies.
I was going to
And
say, this really sounds like a specific way that his policies could help the middle class.
and at the same time,
A
did you
specific.
did you see this?
Hmm.
Well, yeah, besides their lawns. But we have no idea how the lawns were when Trump was growing up. If only, see, we could have more confidence in his ability to deal with inflation if we knew what the lawns looked like in the neighborhood Trump grew up in.
Right.
That would help a lot.
Sure.
So,
So you
and
think, yeah,
at the same time, we're speeding toward World War III. Did you see this?
I haven't heard an update.
The update is this: that the Biden administration, I guess, I don't know
The-
whoever's in control, the apparatus,
The apparatus, the
apparatus
Democrat
that
apparatus.
controls the supposed White House, is providing Ukraine, is telling you, giving Ukraine the green light
Oh,
for
no.
long-range missiles for attacks deep into Russia.
What?
Yes. So they're going to give, but see, this is what it means. And I watched Putin. They asked Putin about it, and Putin said, the thing is, and I'm going to say it. He's Russian, right? So the translation's not perfect, but basically what he's saying is they're trying to act like they're giving them permission, like they're just going to let the Ukrainians shoot long range missiles into Russia. But he said everyone knows that's not true. The Ukrainians, not only do they not have any long range missiles, they don't have any capacity to fire long range missiles because they can't do it without satellites owned by the United States, European countries, or NATO.
Okay.
Not only that, he said, they don't even know how to launch long range missiles. So the only people who can launch them and use the NATO controlled satellites are US, European, or NATO actual troops. They're the only ones who can fire. And he said, what that means is that if this happens, we're at war with the United States, with the European, with Europe, and with NATO.
So, I mean, why are we granting permission to Ukraine for this?
Well, that's Putin's point is we're not granting permission. We put the missiles there. We're sending our troops there, and we're using our satellites. We're shooting missiles at Russia, deep into Russia from Ukraine.
On behalf of the Ukraine?
Right, theoretically. But NATO's doing it. They couldn't do it without us.
Wow.
There isn't any way they can do it. You can't.
Are they physically
the kind of
moving in there?
weapons system, yeah, they're already there. The kind of weapon systems we're talking about,
Yes.
you can't give to some random Ukrainian soldier who can barely work a machine gun and be like, go ahead, launch. I mean, they can't do any of it.
Right. They don't have the technology and the training.
And even if it's all sitting in front of them, it's not as easy as like hitting a red button. Like, it's just more complex. And so we are speeding toward World War III.
Okay.
And I think the reason may be, like, again, people say, well, why would she do that? That's not, that's going to kill Kamala's candidacy. And my entire point is, she's not going to be the candidate anyway in a month. This is the ultimate sowing of chaos.
Gotcha.
In the election year. Yeah, I mean, they might be able to cancel the election. I actually know of a story where that happened, called Insurrection. Maybe coming out here if I can ever get my shit together.
If you ever can get some.
I mean, I've already put it out once. I may put it out again.
Right.
If I can find a way to promote and not get censored by Facebook and everything else all the time.
Oh, right.
They have found I'm on their radar. I'm convinced.
I think you are.
And that's okay.
It's fine.
I don't mind I'm over the target. Let's go.
That's good. We're on Spotify.
I'm out here to
Apple
expose
Podcasts
truth.
Sometimes.
Apple, yeah, I'm getting it. I realized that for whatever reason, and now this is another. There's no explanation for this.
Right.
Every Beers with Jesus episode we do shows up on Apple just fine.
Yep.
Every
in chronological order. Perfectly.
Almost every wildly opinionated news hour we do doesn't. Now they're picking up from the same RSS feed. There's no difference. It's all Todd's World.
And it's the same. I was gonna say it's the same channel. If you scroll through the episodes,
no other podcast distributor is having trouble picking up NewsHour.
Right.
Except
it
Apple.
Alternates. Like if you scroll, it's not like you have to go somewhere different. It's coming from somewhere different. It's all the same place.
So I have found, and I have started, I did at least with the last two, I can manually put them in on Apple Podcast. And that's what I'm going to have to start doing with NewsHour. So they will show up, and I will get, there's a 2 or 3, I think, back ones that I'm still missing, but I am going to catch those up. I'll get everything on there, and I just have to manually do it because that's what seems to me where the tech censorship has gone is they don't tell you. See, back in 2020 or January 6, 2020, they're just like, we're canceling your account. You're a terrorist. You're this. Now they don't tell you. Now they just put these bugs in that make it impossible for you to do anything.
Right.
And then they won't answer emails. They don't chat. They don't do anything. It's just
there's
a
really
void.
Not,
it's the great
really
void out there.
Support. Yeah, I know. So we're on Spotify, Substack.
We're on Substack. So, well, we are still everywhere. I mean, we're on Apple too. It's just we found out Apple was doing that to the news hours,
right?
And so we have to
pretty
go
weird.
in and correct them. But yeah, and we're still on. I'm on Facebook personally, so you can find me at. I think I have a page up, Todd's World 2023, but I do almost nothing on it.
That's what I was going to ask you.
I do it through my personal account.
Mm-hmm.
at Todd Allen, and that's fine. You can find me there. I don't care. I'm not one of these people who like uses my Facebook for all these I don't care that much. There's pictures of my kids on there. So what? My kids are gorgeous. Why wouldn't you want to see my kids? How Lauren's going to be more famous than I am. So you can see her now. I don't care.
This is true.
Watch her songs. It's fine. Make her
This is
famous.
true. Todd's World. Yeah, you do. You have a
I do, but I
channel.
don't use it.
Right. And it still says 2023.
Well, that was the name of it because that's what
Right.
I just picked Todd's World 2023 because it was easy, and Todd's World I think at the time was taken.
You're such a big picture guy. I'm surprised you didn't name it like Todd's World 2030.
Well, I just thought I'd go with origin year of the show.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
And it was what it was. I'm that on Twitter too. It's Todd's World 2023, I think. And
Mhm.
it's the same on Instagram.
Got it.
So promoting things, we're having to change how we do some things. And every time we start to get a blip up, it seems like the tech
Right.
companies do everything they can to beat us down again. But
It's a little
you know what?
frustrating.
We're gonna keep rolling. It doesn't matter to me.
Well, and this is a good time to ask those listening, please, to share the link to the show
Yes.
with people you think would enjoy it, because we are wildly
We are
entertaining.
struggling to get it out for sure.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
Where else can you
They're
get
eating
this
the cats. They're eating
kind
the
of
dogs.
news
Eat
and
the cat.
information?
Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
So anyway, yes. Look us up, find us, and pay attention. Get me on Twitter, Todd's World 2023. I'll give you this is a little bit of should I even give this comment? Should I
What's that? I can't wait.
This is so just a little taste of my X Twitter
Yes.
feed.
Okay.
I comment a lot. I don't put tons of posts up. Most of what you're going to get from me are comments. I'm a commenting kind of guy. That's what this whole news hour is, a commenting kind of thing.
Right.
And I can't remember who I was referring to. I think it was some Christian person from like Christianity Today who's way left.
Okay.
Russell Moore, that's his name. And it was on some
Okay.
Christian Daily Wire, Megan Bashan's feed, I think.
Is he a regular guy or is he like a public figure?
He's a lefty, somewhat of a public figure.
Okay.
He's just a tool. And
A
that was
moderate-
my whole
oh.
comment was this: he's
Gotcha.
not worth 95% of the attention that he gets. He's just a tool.
Got it.
Russell, the love muscle, is just a tool. That's all he is. And then I said, you can't fix retarded. All you can do is buy him a windbreaker and a helmet. That's the kind of wildly entertaining comments you get from me on X and on Twitter. I like to stir things
Yikes.
up.
That's funny.
All and everything I just said was true about Russell the love muscle, about how you can't fix retarded. You really can't. You got to live with it.
He's disillusioned.
And we aren't talking about learning disabled children. We're talking about willfully retarded people. That's what retarded refers to in 2024.
Right.
Is
People
the willful retards out there.
The people who aren't researching and who are just spouting off about their blind opinions. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Their TDS opinions?
Oh, they're insane.
I know. And you don't think there are that many?
No. Well, 35% of a 360 million people is a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
I don't know how many of them are just completely brainwashed.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the public figures that bug me though. Like your random everyday idiots that you run into, like they go to school with your kids or whatever. Not the kids, but the parents or whatever. Yeah. You think, well, they're just idiots who buy the media, whatever.
Right.
But the people who get out there and have a platform and promote rank, abject stupidity and
like
lies.
Jack Black.
All of them. All of them. It's just nothing but lies. It's nothing but lies. Liars would probably be better, and then people would be more receptive to it than retards. But I like the way retards rolls off the tongue. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Anyway.
Well,
so yeah, that's what's going on. And we're going to see what happens. We're going to see whether
encouraged.
Trump's we're taking the country back.
Good.
I don't know what it's going to look like in the process. It's going to be
chaotic.
A little messy. It's going to be
chaotic,
chaos.
but we can do it.
Yeah, it's a done deal. I really do.
Okay.
I think that this is over.
And as a woman, there's a balance to be
I mean, this is our
between
option.
Being tough
Right.
and being a bitch.
Like, this is Putin's scared to death of this. I want you to know.
Oh my gosh.
Turn that
Oh, turn that off.
I thought
Don't
you'd
let
be
that
playing.
be seen.
I thought you'd be playing the
Versus
coconut
this.
tree.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating
Could
the
the
cats.
contrast be
They're
any
eating-
greater?
They're
Right.
eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
He's 100% right. And
Right.
Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
listen, it just
It's
that's
good.
where we're at. So I think we've done all we can do today.
I
think
so.
we've exposed people to truth,
And we
lot
had a
of
dance
truth.
party.
and we had a dance party.
Yeah, a lot of
So-
truth. You're right.
Find us, guys. Subscribe. Tell your
Mm.
friends, because
Please.
people, yeah, everything's fighting us. The algorithms are fighting us. It's
I
okay.
know.
We understood going into this
Right.
that the enemy was not going to take it lying down. There would be some resistance to
Mhm.
the truth, and there is, and that's fine. And we're going to keep fighting it, and
All
we're
right.
going to take you out the same way we came in. Thanks for joining.
Yes.
Carrie, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us, guys.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. Eat the